What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Out of the Mud INC. We got Juice the Truth in the building. I go by Flint Finest the third. What episode we on right now?
Episode 3.
Episode 3, the third. And you what? You know how to say it?
No.
And you know that. Juice the Truth, talk to us, baby girl. What are we doing today?
Yeah, so today I think it's important to, like I said, to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
So today I just want to discuss reinventing yourself. I know I had to reinvent myself multiple times. Have you?
I'm reinventing myself right now.
Always.
Like,
So
promise
it's
you.
always something that I'm working on, always trying to work on myself.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's important to reinvent yourself in
Mhm.
a lot of cases where people get caught up in just the everyday life.
Yeah.
And you start to lose your goals, your dreams, and sometimes you got to step back and become something different.
Facts. But you have to understand that too. A lot of people don't take out the time to understand when they want something different or need something different. That's why they get caught up in the same things in that repetitious life that people have. Like, oh, I did something different, but it didn't change. So that's, you know what I mean? Let's talk about that.
I think most people are looking for like immediate gratification.
There you go.
Like that's one of the biggest like dream killers is immediate gratification.
They want it right now.
Like they do a little bit of work and then they want it right now. But you got to understand that this is a journey. So you never stop moving.
Facts. It's kind of like working out. When we talk about working out, I know that y'all know that she does, fitness and health and stuff like that. It's just like that. Once you start getting into working out, the first initial is it's gonna hurt.
Right.
But people want to be, you know what I mean? People want to lose weight. They think they be there for 2-3 weeks and they need to see the difference. And it hurt. And like, no, that's not how it is. You're not gonna get that.
It's not how it is at all.
Instant gratification at the time. Can you turn my headphones down just a little bit? Yeah. You don't get that instant gratification just right off jump. Like you gotta know that you gotta have some type of plan, some type of regimen, you know what I mean, to start your before you start your workout.
Right.
You know,
you got to know what you're doing it for, because if you just start something, especially like with a very shallow goal, like you just want to lose weight for a trip or something that, those things don't last.
Facts.
And you'll quit those like immediately, because it's like you will never really get there because you're always pushing, you're
setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly.
Because your goal is not a realistic goal. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to change yourself for the better, period. Don't change yourself because you about to go out to Houston in 2 weeks with your girl. So
you going out of town. No, that's not. Those type of goals never last. Right. You will always end up stopping those. You have to look at it as there is no destination.
Facts.
There's no destination. It's just a journey.
It's just a journey.
It's just a
Tell
journey.
Them one more time.
There is no destination to greatness. It's a journey.
It's a journey.
You never stop. You never stop trying to be great.
That I see that right there deserves a bing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clocking. You know how much heat I got up for clocking the T.
Did you?
Our first episode. They didn't say nothing bad about it. They was like, you clocked the T. You know what I mean? I said with Juice.
There is no destination. It's the goal.
It's the goal. For real.
So you can never go into a goal and think that that once you get this thing that you're going for, then everything, like that's it.
Right.
Like you're always going to add another goal and another goal. So it's not about where you're going. It's about who you're becoming in the process of where you're going.
That's a fact. See, when you start in a goal, a lot of people, like you saying, reinventing yourself, you want to start with a goal, right?
Right.
But one of your goals should be reinforcing something as well. Because a lot of times people want to reinvent, but they don't have no type of reinforcements. And that is one of the best things that I always want to tell people when I do converse with people, when I'm out in the world. It's like, listen, I know you want to reinvent yourself. I know you do. And I'm happy that you stop doing this or you stop doing that. But what did you substitute? What did you sacrifice to make sure that you can push yourself even when you don't have that inner motivation?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that I always want to push out. Like reinvention comes with reinforcement.
Right. It does.
For real.
It's just like when you're reinventing yourself, that means like for me, I know if I set a goal and sometimes you have to become a different person in order to reach that goal.
Facts.
Like you can't sometimes those heights demands for you to become a completely different individual. So like if you have an everyday life, you're going to work every day, you're not really working towards any goals. In order for you to actually get to the goal, you have to become a completely different person. You can't be the person that get up, go to work every day, come home, watch TV. You won't get to your goals like that. You have to become the type of person that deserves, or the type of person that's already there.
Right.
Already there.
Yeah. See, one thing about the one thing about it is that people don't understand that you have to, like you said, sacrifice. You have to become something different. Like that means you got to delete that boo. You know what I mean? That you can't get rid of. You gotta delete the context of people who don't see your inner good, that don't understand your values, that's not trying to help you be the best version of yourself. And if they can't see that without you actually conversing with them and telling them that, then those are the you need to get rid of, because the type of people that you need around you are people that's on your same frequency or higher than your frequency. You know what I mean? So that's, you know what I mean, that's just something that I'm thinking about, like when you say like you got to get rid of, because a lot of people think that you always have to get rid of, but they forget that you have to add.
Right.
That's where the reinforcement come in. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of eating on pork chops, go ahead and eat a salad, or go ahead and eat you know what I mean? You have to plug something else in with your sacrifice.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So third, does that mean you're gonna start eating vegetables?
Wait a minute.
Vegetables are pretty good. I eat vegetables, so
hold on, wait a minute.
But I mean, in order, like if you have that goal, you do have to change your eating habits. Because
DJ GFG, what's up? You know, I appreciate you for tapping in. You hear me? Sure, if I set a goal to eat vegetables, I will start with things that I know that I can probably easily eat. Now, don't get me wrong. I do eat fried okra, and okra is
right.
You hear me?
Right, but it's the way you eat it.
But it's the way you eat it. I understand that as well. But if I can get it in my system, I would. I'll go get fried okra for church and chicken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for real. I'll go to Papa's and get some
So is that okra. The only thing that you eat? Like the only type of vegetable that you eat? You don't eat like raw vegetables?
No.
Because I think you lose a lot of the nutrients when it's cooked. So like
okra is magic though. Okra is magic. It's got a certain kind of
But the bread in it, the
bread that you put on the okra is the actual part that's bad for you.
Yeah.
Considerably.
Okay.
Allegedly, if we using the word.
But you know what? One of the things that I say that like when you want something for yourself, find people who's already doing
it,
and become their friend.
And you become their friend. Shout out to Juice the Truth. She told me that I better be working out.
Yes, I did.
So and he been I made sure that I was working out before on and off, but she showed me the importance of, you know what I mean, working out, pushing yourself and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's what's up. Let me make sure I do it.
Right. You can't, it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be comfortable at all. So you have to be okay with being uncomfortable, but know like that it's for a reason.
That's true.
It's for a reason. And 21 days, it takes 21 days
to break a habit,
to pick up a habit or to break a habit. Ma'am. So if you do something consistently for 21 days, that's a new habit.
It's a new habit.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's hard for a lot of people though.
It was hard for me.
It was hard for me too. I mean, I would start it. I would stop it for a while. I would start it again. I would stop it for a while. But it's like I always came back to it, at some point. So,
well, as long as you have the mindset to want to do something, you can do it.
You can't make excuses.
You can't make excuses.
You can't make no excuses.
That's why you didn't go. You ain't go.
Right. But I get a lot of people that's like, well, I don't think I have time. I work, right? I'm like, listen. Some days I'll get up, if I know I got like a busy day, I'll get up 4:00 in the morning because that's the only time that I have. Like, it's that important to me that I can't make an excuse to say I don't have time to do something that I really want. Facts. I say I really want.
Facts. And people fail to realize that the things, you don't got to go to the Y. You don't have to go to Planet Fitness. You can
be at home.
You can be at home and you can literally go on YouTube right now and look up a 10-minute workout.
But that's the difference from people who say they want it and people who actually go after it. That's the difference.
Exactly. But see, the thing is about it is, if you want that type of mindset, that's why you have to reinvent yourself.
That's exactly why.
You can't just keep telling yourself you want something and not make room for it in your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what the reinvent actually comes in. Like, actually understand that this is something that's already in my life.
It is.
You know what I mean? Yes, it's something I actually know that this is in my life, but I want to make it better.
Right.
And it can't become better unless I
change your habits.
Change my habits.
Them daily habits. That's what's gonna change everything. What you do on a daily basis.
There you go.
So yeah, I try not. I don't make any excuses about when it comes to my workouts, my fitness. It's like I'm. If I don't go, I'll feel like don't go 2 days in a row. Oh man, like I'll be thinking about it all day.
Facts.
All
but you got to
long.
be able to see this. What I see, I'm an imager, right? So I always feel like if you can't see it, you're not gonna be able to do it.
Oh, definitely.
So when you're reinventing something, you have to reinvent it in your mind, cognitively. So if you reinvent it in your mind and you're telling yourself, "Oh, this is what I want to do," and that'd be great. That's a great start.
Wait, hold up. You using some big words again. What was that word?
You are my dictionary. So when I do that, you got to come in and tell them exactly that I mean. Because when I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll.
Cognitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell them what cognitive means.
Let me pull it up first. Keep going.
Okay, keep going. But yeah, cognitively, you want to make sure that see, that made me lose my train of thought. You know, but what I was about to say, he didn't got me on that one. DJ GFG.
Now we need the definition.
Now we need the definition because he didn't hit me off guard on this.
All right, here we go. Cognitive. Cognitive. The definition of cognitive. It is an adjective and it's relating to the process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses.
Exactly. So what I mean is that you can't create something unless you see it. You got to be able to see it.
Yep.
Like,
and not even only see it, but like, see, our brains don't know the difference between what's real and what we're imagining.
Come on now, talk to him.
So if you can imagine it and also get the feeling of how it feels to have that thing, then that's when
that's what I kind of feel like.
When
I say see it, that's what that's actually what I mean.
You gotta feel
Remember
it.
We were talking about the different angles. You know, it was.
Why do you think our brains and our hearts are like the two most important things in your body, brain and your heart?
Why do I think it is? Well, I know the brain actually is what tells your body what to do. And your heart is what feeds your body what it needs to actually.
Our brains, we have the image in our brains, and our heart is the feeling. So if we can connect the image that we have along with the feeling of having it, then we can have it and we'll attract it to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how you put that.
You can't live without a brain. You can't live without a heart.
Today in Black philosophy.
For real?
Yeah.
I like that. I ain't never thinking about it like that.
Without other organs, but you can't live without a brain or a heart. Our brain gives us the picture and our heart gives us the feeling of having it. So, yeah.
Oh, you got a hand clap for that one? Ah, she got a hand clap, yo. She up one right now. She got a hand clap.
But yeah, seriously, and that's something that I like literally learned like from doing it. Yeah. When you learn what manifestation is.
Turning something into from your mindset, which is cognition. That's something that's in your mind.
That's why artists are so important. Artists, because they have a vision that they bring into their reality. That's why artists are extremely
a lot of artists that I know, they see it in their mind first. They don't have to see a picture. They don't have to see it physically.
They're already there.
It's already, like you said, in your imagination.
So that's where reinventing yourself come in, because once you can feel or have that feeling of knowing what it feels like to be the person that you want to be, then that's when you become that person. But you got to feel it first.
You got to feel it.
Can I ask both of y'all a question?
What it look like?
Yep.
What was it at what point in your life that caused you to realize or believe you needed to reinvent yourself?
Ask it one more time.
At what point in your life, or what was the situation that caused you to believe and realize you needed to reinvent yourself?
Oh, well, in life, I mean, if you got any type of trauma or any type of relationship
specific problem that kind of hit you.
Oh, talking about me as a person.
Both of y'all. I'm asking you both. So
well, I was taught as a jit to always reinvent myself. You know what I mean? I have a grandfather, Mr. Gene Hodge Sr. He was a philosopher, great man. And he always told me that no matter what, every day, everything is a learning experience. And as you learn, you know what I mean, things change. And when things change, you have to learn to reinvent, meaning that making things better, add attributes, take away attributes, learning how to sacrifice and learning how to add. So for me, it was kind of like every time I realized energy was not right around me, I had to get away and I had to reinvent myself.
Right.
Because like I said before, in our previous times, I really do guard my energy. I really do guard my focus. It's some things that I want to jump and do, but I'm like, don't do it there. You feel me? Or
it's
take your time. Yeah, I learned to discipline myself. And that's the way that I reinvent myself. I discipline myself.
Yeah.
I can easily just go do something and it's going to come out golden, but it might not be the right time. I might not be prepared enough. I might, so I always tell myself proper preparation prevents poor performances. So if I want to be the best version of myself and I'm reinventing myself, I have to, like you say, notice when I need to reinvent myself and know what I want in my energy, in my circle, and then I just go from there.
Yeah,
that's me though. Everybody. A lot of times people go through relationships. Yeah. I hear people say relationships all the time.
I think everybody have different situations that make them reevaluate who they are and where they are in life, and that's what make you want to go for something different. I know that's what happened with me. I'm I sat around and I'm like, man, I got 2 kids. Like life is like this. Like I
you have 2 children?
I have 2.
Where at? You don't look like you got none.
I know, right?
Oh, the snapback is real.
And I actually had 3 children. I had a child that passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Had a miscarriage before.
Really?
Yeah. Not me, but
Yeah.
the girl, So.
Y'all.
We
continue with your reinventing yourself. What was the?
So I had been through a couple of different things. One being the death of my daughter.
Okay.
After that situation, and I think that is when I really. It's something about being a parent and losing your child. It's something about being a parent and seeing your deceased child that will change something in you, and you'll be right there. You're forced to become a different person.
Oh yeah, that's
you're put in a
you're
put in a place where not a lot of people get to feel that and I say get to feel that because that is what turned me into a completely different person.
Indeed.
And sometimes you go through the worst times in your life. You got to understand that those things are the character that's needed in the person that you're supposed to be.
There you go.
I had to understand that. Yeah, I had to understand that. I was asking myself, why am I going through something I never seen myself going through anything like that until it happened. And when you really have to live in that moment, that's when God is real though.
Facts.
That's when God is real.
Facts. So. And you have to be able to point that out too though.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm proud of you for that though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they don't come out strong from situations. A lot of
people don't recover. I
know people personally who have lost a child, and they was at their best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And after that, they just kind of not cared about. They had other kids as well, and I, me being the optimistic person I am, like, man, you got 2 other kids. You got to do it for them. You got to do it for them.
Right.
And they you don't know what it feels like though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, man, I had, ain't nothing I can say about that. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what that feels like. You know what I mean?
So understand,
I'm proud of you though. Yeah.
Those things are a part of the journey.
It is.
That's a part of the journey, the good and the bad. The bad is the lessons.
Facts.
The bad is definitely the lessons. That's when you have to learn. You learn your most valuable lessons when you're having down moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're so comfortable when you're happy, but when you're down, it's your brain has to create different ways to get out of that.
Facts.
And if it don't, then
it's reinventing. You just said it. Your mind is reinventing.
Yeah, automatically.
And if it doesn't reinvent, you start to sink.
Right.
That's a lot of people don't understand why they feel like they're falling. Why they feel like what's the movie called? When you say in the sunken place, a lot of people feel like they're in that
Get Out.
Get Out. Thank you. a lot of people think that they're in that sunken place and they don't know how to actually get out of that because they haven't conditioned their mind to be able to reinvent.
Right.
And that's why they feel like they're sinking. That's why they feel like they're falling or feel like they're under a rock or something like that.
And it goes even deeper than that because
go deep in.
Let me tell you something. I had to learn that even when you're sad, whatever you feel is coming from whatever you're thinking about.
Yes, boss.
So I really had to become more self-aware about the things that I allow myself to think about.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was a whole journey within itself. And like I said, there's no destination to this. That's like you're still moving toward, in the journey, getting to know yourself in that way. But yeah, I had to I'm a lot more self-aware to where I like monitor the things that I'm thinking about now. I'm like, if something pop up and because we have 60,000 thoughts in one day.
60,000.
The normal human being have up to 60,000 thoughts in
a
day.
Statistics.
Listen, I've read 60, it. Yes, 60,000 thoughts in a day.
That might be the regular person because I know I'm at least about like 200.
See, that's why I said the average. Yeah, average. I know I'm at about 200,000, 300,000 too, but I'm more self-aware about what I allow myself to think about.
Indeed.
So even when something do come up, I'm immediately like, okay. When I start feeling bad, I'm like, oh no, I start moving because it's like I understand that I'm only feeling bad because I'm thinking bad thoughts.
Question though, because there's a lot of people out here when they're feeling bad. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So when you're feeling bad, right? Because we're talking about reinventing yourself. That's what we're talking about, y'all. We're talking about learning how to actually reinvent yourself as a person.
Right.
Okay. So what about when you're feeling bad?
When you're feeling bad,
how do you reinvent yourself when you don't have that motivation? When you don't have that I just need to get up and push. You know what I mean? You're not really believing that you can get up. You're not believing that things are going to be better. Every time you do something, things are just not adding up, and you're just feeling like
understanding that we have a energy field around us, and we're an energy source, and we have a frequency, and if you stay in that frequency, if you stay down in that frequency, then you will begin to attract everything that's on that frequency. So if you're feeling down, you're on a low vibration, you're low vibration, and you're going to attract everything else that's low vibration. So you attract different people that's low vibration. You attract different situations that are low vibrational. You will attract jobs, relationships, everything that's on that frequency.
So how do you get out of that low vibrational state?
One of the ways that I got out of that, working out.
What else though? What is it? Because a lot of times it could be something that but what is it? Anything that you read or things that you have trying to get into?
Yeah,
have you learned anything new from what? Because we always reinventing ourselves, correct? So that works for you when it comes to the things that you've been through. Now, the journey that you start and now, how do you reinvent yourself? Because I guarantee that you still go through things, right?
I do.
So what are you doing now to reinvent yourself? Okay, you working out, you making sure that your vibrations is right, that you're around the right frequencies, and you understanding that. Okay, boom. So what's the next step to that? Have you figured that part out?
And before you answer that, could you add to that answer? You said a few episodes ago, you said you did shadow work. What does that mean? So add what he's saying, and then if you don't mind, tell me what shadow work is.
So one of the things that I did, like I said, you have to change up what you do on a daily basis. So I went from watching TV to reading books. That was like one of the best things I did because I realized that, we are distracted with everything. We choose what distracts us. So when I realized that, I stopped watching TV, I turned the TV off, and I started reading books. Then my thinking completely changed. That's when I wanted to start working out. That's when I started wanting to do business. Like my whole thinking changed. So reading books was like definitely one of the best things I started doing.
Facts. They put all the knowledge in books, and the reason why people didn't want you know what I mean, the Black Americans to read is because that's where the knowledge.
The
they
biggest
put the biggest
distractions
on TV so that
where
they
it's
would not
easy
go read it in the book.
and because if they can give you the vision
of there you go.
the bad stuff that's happening, then you will stay at a low vibration, and you can attract the things that you really want. So
there you go.
That's one of the things that they do to keep you in a low vibration.
Yes,
so I had to turn the TV off and started reading books. Once I started reading books, I became a lot more self-aware.
Indeed.
So
shout out to you.
Thank you.
A lot of people are trying to get where you're at right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like you're a great representation of a woman that can actually show and tell.
Thank you.
You know? And that's the type of stuff that we want to make sure we pushing out to people, because it's like you might know a past, or you might know something that I've been through, but that doesn't mean that's who I am as a person.
See, everybody has been through some things that nobody else know about. Everybody, things that we don't talk about. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know that I had a child that passed away.
All right.
And then it makes you think like, man, looking at her today, I wouldn't even have, because
after people see this, they're going to look at you differently, like, wow, so that's what something that happened? Like,
right.
How did she get through that?
One of the lowest times of my life. Like, my child was in the hospital for 2 months before she passed, so I had to watch her.
How old was she, if you don't mind?
She was 2 months.
She was 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, gave birth to her. We had some issues during my pregnancy, and went into labor, gave birth, and they shipped her straight to Detroit. Never heard her cry a day ever.
For real?
Nope. Man. So that type of situation like forced me to become somebody else. It forced me to reinvent myself. And
that's dope, though. So that's dope that you didn't allow it to make you feel like, you don't want to be here, because there's a lot of people that's like suicidal.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, you know what I mean? I know people personally, so I only can speak on what I know for a fact. I know someone who tried to commit suicide because of this type of situation.
Yeah.
And her and him, it was a mother and a father that was married, you know, and it was like they was so distraught to the point where it's like you can push religion on them, or you could push spirituality on them, you could push universal everything on them. They like not there. They don't care.
See, one of the things that you have to do when you go through something like that is called shadow work.
There you go.
You have to do shadow work. And shadow work means you have to get rid of all of your distractions, and you have to face yourself. That means you have to change up some things. I stopped listening to music. So like most of the time, you in a car, you turn on music and then you only turn it on to distract yourself from thinking. So if you turn the music off, you will realize that, start thinking more about what you're thinking about. Because a lot of people have random thoughts. Like random thoughts is what's completely guiding their life, and they don't even know that they have control over what they can think about.
You gotta control your energy. Here you go. That goes back to controlling your focus, controlling your energy. That's what we mean by when we say control your focus, control your energy. You know what I mean? Direct your energy. You can learn to literally control your life from the inside and out. And that's the part that I be wanting to take, because that shadow work. Shadow
work is different. That shadow work is going to help you reinvent yourself. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to strip everything away. You have to get out of relationships. You got to make very dramatic changes in your life. So that's getting rid of the things that you're comfortable with having, that you're used to having.
Facts. You got to stop having sex. You got to cook different.
Yeah,
you got to breathe. Books,
be by yourself a lot.
Yourself.
You have to isolate yourself, because that's when you start to
places you go.
Right. You start to get you get to know yourself when you're in isolation. You don't even know who you are. When you have people around you all the time and they're telling you who you are. Like I didn't even know who I was.
I've done that before as well.
Yeah.
I've done that before as well. Everybody always told me that I was. Well, I've always been a competitive person, but everybody said, "Oh, you a football player, or you a basketball player, or you."
So that's what you try
to
be.
So automatically, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a football player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, I'm a basketball player.
Right.
Then, oh yeah, you dunking on everybody since the 6th grade. You gonna go to the NBA? You gonna, So I started to believe what people say, and it's not that it couldn't happen, but it wasn't my biggest passion.
Right.
You know what I mean? To be honest with you, my biggest passion was to become a father.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I told you last time, Valentine's Day, my father is so dope. So me growing up, I'm like, I'm gonna be the best dad, best father in the world. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, but when things go through your life, I had to reinvent myself. You know what I mean? Because things don't always go the way that you want it to.
I think what it is, like, a lot of people are afraid of starting over. A lot of people are afraid of starting over. They're afraid of being by themselves. Like, that's why they jump from relationship to relationship, because those are ways to distract yourself from finding out who you really are. So being by yourself, you have
that
to.
Is a
it's gonna force you to get to know yourself.
You gotta be by yourself.
When I got single, that's when I started understanding, like, man, I really don't even like this and that, you know,
I
because
just liked it because baby girl over here liked her.
I was no longer distracted.
You know? Y'all mind if I input some?
GFG.
Please do.
Because with that shadow work, thank you for the explanation for it. So I've done that too, unknowing that that's what it was. But I had a situation where it was impossible for me not to be around my old situation. Impossible, because we lived in the same vicinity. So I had to
all the time,
and
hear her coming in the house,
and the kids,
you
know, and love them even to this day. But understanding, I gotta figure something else out. But where I'm gonna go, I can't just up and move. I ain't got the finances to just change my situation like Kanye West or something. So I had to reinvent my whole life schedule. I had to add things to my life to where I wouldn't, because I know everybody's life. I know their schedule. I helped raise some of these kids.
You created their regiment
in one way or another. So I had to reinvent my whole life.
Right.
Even though I was already busy and already active, I had to flip it upside down.
Yeah, I've been through that too.
And be gone. When I
and that's hard to do. Man. That's hard to do when you've been in a situation for a certain amount of time, because time will keep people in the worst situations ever, and they only in it just because they've invested time.
Right. But I say all that just to say that even if you're in a situation where it's difficult to find out how to get out of something or change the situation, you still can.
Yeah,
you still can. You just have to work at it.
Or you can just go get some headphones. You can go get some headphones.
You can do that too.
You hear me? I don't want to hear nothing. See me, how I am, I can hear everything. I listen to the things that people don't listen to. You know what I mean? So if somebody walking in, just like, you know what I mean, my partner just walked in, I heard him at the door before. Even though we don't hear, I heard him when he walked into the door. I already felt his energy coming.
Right.
So I already knew someone was coming. So it doesn't startle me. It don't put me in the same type of energy or make me feel scared, or, you know what I mean? Because I'm already prepared for it. I'm paying attention to everything. And that's something that you can do. You can just, it's a part of guarding your focus.
Right.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Headphones. If I know there's somebody coming and I don't want to hear them, or I know that it's going to possibly happen, I'm putting my headphones in, putting the AirPods in. You know what I mean? I'm listening to those
and
ET.
Right.
And you
I'm
want to
also
listen.
One of them people that like solitude. Sometimes I just like quiet. Just
yeah,
complete quiet. Like if I go on a long trip,
I'm like
I don't
that too.
Play music.
Like I love being by myself. Like even though I want somebody there, I've gotten so comfortable because I wasn't comfortable with being by myself for a long time. Yeah. So I would try to stay in a relationship so I won't even have to deal with me, you know. So when I got single and I had to deal with me, it was like that forced me to reinvent myself, because it's like I got to know who I really was without the distraction of a relationship. Like I had to change my whole schedule too. When I left my long-term relationship, moved out, like I was used to having help with them bills, having help with the kids, you know. I had to completely change my whole schedule, and that was difficult too, because that was probably one of the hardest things I ever have to do.
Change the pattern of your life.
Oh yeah. But that was because I was in a situation. And like I said on the last show, when I was in this toxic situation and I looked up and I realized that it wasn't even him, it was me. I didn't like me in this relationship. I was like, oh, I got to get out of here. I don't even like who I am. I don't like the person that he brings out of me. So he was bringing out like the worst The worst. And I really had to.
So did he do any type? Okay, because because you know what I mean. You say he brought the worst out of you, right? Did he bring anything else to you? Did he actually ever make you feel like you can be better? Did he ever speaking to you, speak like words of affirmations to you? Have you ever tried to encourage you? Have you ever
let me tell you
bought you some shoes so you do a workout or anything?
When I told him, I remember I told him because I started sewing while I was in this relationship. That's when I learned how to sew. So I spent a lot of time by myself in the basement just teaching myself this skill, right?
Gotcha.
And I can remember him never coming down to be like, what you doing?
Right.
Or, show any interest. Never invested, never bought a sewing machine, thread, none of that. Right. So, and in that situation, that's why I realized I'm like, you know what? This ain't for me. Like I can really do this by myself. Right. So yeah.
But see, I don't want to get it confused to the people because there's people out here that do have people who actually sow a seed into their life. They just don't value what the person is doing for them, and that happens a lot of times. You know what I mean? Because I've been in a relationship like that. It's like the things that you don't value is what I actually bring. You know, I bring in the fatherlyhood. I bring in the organization. Well, the organized chaos. That's what I call it. My organized chaos. Because like you said, I got 2,000, 3,000 thoughts a day. You know what I mean? I'm not the average person. So the type of energy that I bring to the table, a lot of people can't grasp it because they don't have the morals and don't have or don't understand their values yet, or they don't know who they are as a person. Right. See, me growing up, I always knew what kind of person I was. My grandfather used to tell me, like, do you know what type of person you are? And I was like, no. He said, exactly. Because you can never really figure it out because you always learn it. Don't ever try to put that on you. Don't try to say this is what type of person you are. Right. Because when you're 10 and when you're 15, you're evolving. You're going to change. Your mindset is going to change. The type of women you like, you're going to change. The type of food you like going to change, other than vegetables. You know what I mean? Because I still haven't changed yet. But it's like, I already knew. See, I was in a relationship where I knew who I was as a person. Yeah. And I knew what I was bringing to the table. And I told you, baby, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And she's like, oh, I need a man like that. Oh, I need a man like that. But then when they get the man, they're like, wait a minute. How come you ain't do this? That's not, you know what I mean? Okay, well, if you want me to do that, let's communicate that. Don't expect me to know what to do when we don't have that type of, you know what I mean, communication, or we ain't talked about it or text about it or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I can't read your mind, but I can read your patterns. You know what I mean? So if I'm reading your patterns and your patterns are not showing me and you're not telling me, you can't expect me to know that I need to come down there and check on you when you sewing, boo-boo. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the type of stuff I want people to make sure that they realize it too. Like you said, he probably bought a version out of you that you didn't like, but what was the version of you at the moment? Who were you at that moment?
And that's another thing. Like I said, I had stayed in a relationship trying to distract myself from getting to know myself.
Exactly.
I had a lot of flaws that I needed to work on, but I wasn't going to be able to work on them in that relationship. So I had to.
But it wasn't a marriage, though, was it?
No, it wasn't a marriage.
Exactly. Yeah. A marriage is different.
It's different. A marriage is different, but it's like when you get married, you make a commitment to work it out regardless. Stick it out regardless.
If you forgot who you was, or if you never know who you was, you go talk to your man.
People grow apart. What? And that's when, that's when people start to argue. That's when they start not liking each other toxic. Because they grow apart. They become two different people.
So let me ask this, Juice with the Truth, GFG. What were his redeeming qualities because you were attracted to him and that's why you got with him in the first place?
Yeah.
So give us at least one good thing about this good.
I was attracted to him at a time where I didn't know who I was. Okay. I was easily,
let me ask this question though. You ready? Okay, because I hear that, right? Because you didn't know who you were as a person, did he know who he was as a man?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So that's a different type of conversation. You know what I mean?
Like I said, when you're on a certain frequency, you attract things on that frequency. Me and him was on the same frequency of not knowing who we are, not knowing where we're going, not having any goals. You know, we was on the same frequency. He didn't have any goals when I got with him either. We was, you know, I wasn't thinking about any of that.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm about to say. I see. That's
once
what
I started to ride to you know up my frequency. That's when that was no longer attractive to me.
So why you couldn't help Buddy out then? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe just he needed
you know,
because she didn't know.
Oh, we talking about something different
he
now. Oh, he
but yeah, you know, after
he found another frequency.
He was on another frequency.
He was on another frequency. That's why y'all weren't working.
But I learned to like not even get mad at those type of things because it's like that's just part of life. Like people change frequencies at different moments of their life, and it is what it is. Like I like me today than I did when I was in a relationship. That's all. Like
I just bet you did.
Well, let me ask y'all this. I got another question for y'all. So Juice and Third, during that reinventing time, was there ever a point where you all gave up on relationships and said, it's just going to be me from here on, and I don't care if I meet anybody else, and it doesn't matter, I'm going to just be the dog man and the cat lady?
When I was in high school, I did.
I don't think I ever thought like that.
In high school, I got 7 girlfriends because the girl broke my heart. I did, but every girlfriend I had, I told them I got a girlfriend. They're like, that's okay.
Well, fast forward to you know more current.
I just had to say it because I'm just saying. I get it. You know, I'm a jock, so you know.
Okay, I mean that was high school.
Yeah, I'm saying in high school. That's why I said I was in high school.
Right.
Broke my heart, 9th grade. Janine, you know you.
Janine.
She gonna see this too. She supported me too. Janine, you know you broke my heart.
But yeah, I don't think I ever thought like, I think I've had my times where I knew I needed to take a step back and, you know, maybe not deal with anybody at a certain time in my life. But I don't think I ever thought like, I'm never going to
in a relationship.
No, because I'm a woman. Like, you know, like I said, as sometimes in your life, you have to, if you're not on that frequency, you're not on the frequency of having somebody right there. Yeah. But it's like, I had to learn that I had to change my vibration. I had to up my vibration so that I could attract better men.
Indeed.
And did.
Indeed.
And did.
But you're single now, right?
I'm single, but I'm attracted. but I'm attracting some good options.
The type of guys that's coming in, she like, okay, this is better than the drug dealer dude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To mess with. Okay. You got something going on.
A different frequency of men.
Indeed.
You know.
If you could talk to your ex right now, because you're a better version of yourself, what are some things that you think that can help him? Because I'm always about helping people. You know what I mean? Right. So even when I broke up with somebody or anything, or they broke up with me or whatever they feel like was happening, I still will take out the time to try to help them, even if they ask or even if they don't. So he didn't ask for no help right now. But if he's watching this, what's up, big dog? What can you tell him? Do it again. What up, big dog? What can you say to him that could possibly get him with the same mindset that you're at right now? Like, how can you help him? Because that's going to help you. Because I feel like, I don't know why, but I
think in some ways, like us not being together, like he's grown in his own way too. So, you know, when we're in a better space, as far as like we're parents, you know what I'm saying? We have we share the same kid.
Oh, so okay. Y'all have
we have a child together. Oh, okay. So I feel like we're both in a more mature space, not being together. I think we get along way better not being together. It's a better relationship. So I would just encourage him to continue to grow. Like continue to grow.
Where do we need to grow at? Let's help him out real quick.
To be honest, we haven't been like close like that to where we've had those type of conversations. No time recent, so I can't say where he needs to grow. Okay, you know, he might have to do some shadow work. I don't know,
we go.
You know, I don't have anything negative to say. Like we both, you know, started at a certain point.
Yeah, it's not the negative side I like to speak on. Yeah, it's the growing side. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what's going on, you know what I mean?
Sometimes people grow more not being together.
That's true.
Like a relationship will stunt your growth if it's the wrong relationship.
Or the wrong time.
Yeah. Or the wrong time. Yeah. So,
I agree with that.
I feel like we've both grown in our directions.
So you've seen his growth.
Yeah, I've seen his growth.
That's
his growth.
Shout out to him for, you know what I mean, for not allowing, because relationships makes people feel like they don't want to, like you were saying. Some people get out of you could have been the best relationship ever, and it could make him feel like, you know what, forget it. I ain't messing with no girl. I had a baby by a girl. I loved her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was in love with her. I was trying to do my best, and my best made her feel like she was nothing.
Yeah.
Now she done grew, and she done grown into a whole nother version of herself, and make him feel like he the bad person.
Well, no, I just feel like nobody is the bad person. Everybody has their own journey.
But that's how people feel. Yeah. You know what I mean? You might not feel that way, but you know what I mean? It's two sides to the story. They might feel like, you know what? I'm happy for her and this and that, or I'm happy for him, but that made me feel like I'm not worthy, or I didn't have the attributes.
Self-work.
There you go.
You have to do the self-work.
There you go.
So that, you can get out of feeling like that, because it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault.
Indeed.
Everybody has choices, and everybody has decisions to make. So you choose what distracts you.
You choose what
distracts you.
What distracts you. Okay. I like that. You choose what distracts you. I seen something online before. She had said something about, if you don't change your life, you choose that life.
That's true.
And I believe that's all the way true.
You choose everything about your life. Honestly, you choose everything about your life. You have the choices to make, like who you have children with, where you stay. Like, you choose everything.
Yeah.
So nothing is really stopping you. The only thing stopping you is limited thinking. Limited thinking.
Come on now.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Go ahead.
A lot of people live in their head.
Come on now.
Live in their head.
That's how I know we on point. You feel me? Because I was just about to say that. A lot of people live in their head.
Yep.
Can you explain because I wanted to say it, but you said it though.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Living in your head.
So I feel like, to a certain extent, we're all programmed to a certain extent. We've been programmed from childhood, from the things that we went through, from the things that we were taught, and we were only taught what other people taught us, So a lot of people have very limited thinking of what they can do, and that's where they stay. If you don't open up your thinking, you'll never go where you want to go.
That's the word that we taught y'all today.
Cognition.
You got
cognition.
You gotta open it up, because if you do. You do. Cognition. It would change your life.
Cognition.
You really have your mind going crazy though. But yeah, make sure y'all reinvent yourself. And y'all can call in too. It's a call-in number. We at that time, but y'all can call in. It's
248
yes, boss.
820-5053.
The number is 248-820-5053. because last time I said 50-53, somebody was like, what's the numbers again? 50-53. I don't know what's wrong with people. People hear what they want to hear.
They do.
For real.
Because they choose what they take in. That's why. Yeah.
This is a good question, okay? Hold up, before you say all that, we are at the luxurious Out of the Mud Studios in downtown Flint, and the number to call is 248-820-5053. Thank you.
Copy that. Choose what you hear. How can you block out things that you hear?
I mean, you ever have a conversation with a chick and she hear exactly what she want to hear, but she don't hear what you're saying? We choose what we take in.
Yeah,
I can give you a whole little conversation, but you're gonna take in what you want, what's interesting to you.
You're
gonna take in what's interesting and whatever.
So when you're trying to reinvent yourself, you have to take out the time to learn the interesting things that you want, so that you can deflect the bad things and then fill the void of your sacrifice.
Exactly.
Copy that. Yeah. I just wanted to do that because I know a lot of people, they be like, well, I just be listening, and I just, what I mean? It's a lot of people who yearn on people.
The thing about it though, when you invent yourself, you have to be around people who accept the fact that you put up boundaries and you've made changes.
There you go.
And See, you won't have to repeat yourself when you tell people this is what I am and this is who I am.
Facts.
Yeah, you got to be around people that accept that.
Exactly. Or can just feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be around people who can see your aura without you even having to speak.
Right.
You know, like no matter what, when I go around certain people, I hold myself up to a higher standard, regardless if you know me or not. You know, it don't matter what I got on or what I'm wearing or how I go about something. You know that I'm one of them ones because I'm going to make sure that you can feel my energy because I learned to control it. Right. And I don't give it to everybody. So if you around me and well, sometimes I can't control it. I'm not going to lie. It's powerful.
Yeah.
It is. It is because I'm
always
learning.
Energy force around us.
It's actually around us.
It's actually around us. I think it like spans about 6 feet out. Yeah.
You want me to tell you something that's the truth?
What?
As a young kid, my grandfather used to tell me that, right? And then it was a show that used to come on. My grandfather was one of the smartest men I ever encountered. And I always used to go in his house and I rub his feet and give him the respect he needs because I felt like he was worthy of that. You know what I mean? Right. So every time I seen him, I'm like, hey, what's up, big dog? He's like, hey, Poodle Poke, how you doing? And I always did that because I always, like everything he told me, I went and did the research and he didn't have no book in front of him. He didn't have a TV in front of him, nothing.
That's a smart man.
He took out the time to reinvent himself and grow and make sure that he's doing what's necessary so that he can be able to teach me the way that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can only teach what you know.
Facts.
So question, was your grandfather like a small physique person? Was he one of those, guys that what type of guy was he? Was he a friendly guy? Was he
my grandfather?
Yeah, to other people outside of yourself and your family.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even talk about my grandfather too much because it's a very sentimental thing. But my grandfather was 6'11", big dog status.
You say he was what?
6'11",
6'11".
I'm the shortest of our family of G.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like I'm Lil G to everybody.
Wow.
My grandfather was 6'11",
so he wasn't nobody's pushover.
Nah, we ain't never been that tight. You know what I mean?
Ain't no
when we stepped
in
the room, we changed the atmosphere every single time. And
so,
it's not because we were big. It was because of who we wanted people to what we wanted people to understand through our aura. You know what I mean?
So I asked that question because the interaction of just showing honor to your grandfather like that and rubbing his feet, that's not something that is regular in our community.
Right.
And to know that it was two strong men giving that respect.
Oh yeah, it's a respect. Yeah, it's a respect thing. Like, you know what I mean? I used to take his shoes off. You know what I mean? I took my shoes off when I was in his presence just so that I can be closer to the ground so that I can be able to receive. He taught me all those type of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being able to, what's the right word that I want to use? Being able to be transparent enough to receive that type of energy or that type of teaching, because my other cousins, it's like they was there too, but they didn't perceive it the way that I perceived it because I made sure I did the shadow work. I made sure I did the things that was necessary so that I could be able to receive it because I knew I needed it.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with relationships too.
It is.
For real. Like when I got into relationships or if I got into some type of situationship or whatever it is growing up, like I knew for a fact what kind of person I was. Like I said earlier, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's a difference hearing other people like, oh, I didn't know who I was. Like, why you get in a relationship then? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would you put yourself through that if you don't even know?
Some people only know themselves in a relationship. They don't know themselves outside of a relationship. That's why they go from relationship to a relationship. They only know that version of themselves.
That's backwards.
Yeah.
And that's the part.
But they don't know that though. They don't know
we
that.
Telling you
like
just the truth. Right? That's backwards.
Alone is actually one of the biggest blessings because you don't have anything and anybody around you to distract you from growing.
I agree with that. But also being alone is kind of lonely too.
It gets lonely.
It
gets lonely, but that's when you got to get to know yourself though. You got to be okay. If you can't be okay being alone, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Facts. And that is what I was trying to get to.
Because now you're like dependent. You're dependent on that person.
To give you that.
You have to be all right being alone and that'll help you be in a relationship.
There you go. And that's what I was that's why I was hinting on. That's why I started poking at that because that's the thing. Like you have, man, That was a big one right there for me, because a lot of people don't. We gotta do it. For real.
There you go.
Oh, I got one.
There you go.
I got one. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I want to give a shout out to my daddy. What's up, Pops? Exactly. What we got going on here? How to what? How to reinvent yourself.
How to reinvent yourself. Yeah. So it's important to be around the right type of people when you're trying to reinvent yourself. When you're changing and starting to put up boundaries and you're changing yourself, you have to be around the people that respect that change. Because if you're around the people that still see you in the way that you used to be, they'll continue to make you try to remember those type of things, the type of things that you used to do, the things that you trying to stop. And the more that they put it on you, you'll eventually start going back. So you have to stay away from the people that don't respect the change. Yeah.
Well, when you isolate yourself, you shouldn't be around too many people in the first place. But I agree with you on that, though, because
that's true. But
that's one of the changes that you have to make by making sure that you're not around the type of people who can acknowledge that you are trying to change. And that's the biggest importance of the reinvention.
Yeah.
And the reinforcing.
Right.
I don't know why, but I just feel like that's hand to hand.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a journey. So the isolation part is just that's like the beginning stage. You have like different stages of reinventing yourself. You have the isolation part where you're only by yourself. You're stripping away everything. So you have to wash away everything. You got to get rid of people. You got to get that's the process of getting rid of everything. And then you go through another stage of life where you're starting.
So there's levels to this.
There's levels to this where you're going to add things to you. So once you strip away, once you do the isolation, once you do the shadow work and you strip away all the things that needs to be taken out of your existence, then you're going to go through a stage of life where you start to build, you start to rebuild yourself. So now you're picking your new friends. Now you're picking your new hobbies. Now you're picking new things that you're starting to add on. So that is different stages of it. One stage is the isolation. Another stage is the stage that you start to add things into your life. And that's when you get to choose That's when you get to choose. You get to choose everything new.
There you go.
That's the reinvention, right? But you got to strip away everything first.
Let me add something to y'all. Just to let y'all know, y'all are so dope. I love how y'all communicate with each other. So because this conversation has not necessarily been a light one or easy, depending on where you are in your stage of growth or reinventing yourself. So to be able to be grown adults, to have a conversation like this without it creating a trauma effect is beautiful.
She's gonna love me regardless. I don't care what she says.
I'm just saying it's beautiful. And then it was like 3 different subjects, like the postpartum depression, I think should be the A subject. And then dealing with what you were just talking about with the growth and people that can't deal with your change.
Gotcha.
And how you do that.
You gotta stay away
that's
from
another
those
subject, another day. And
also recognizing if people are trying to deal with your change and you being able to understand that you have someone that wants you to change as well.
Right.
Because a lot of times people feel like they just got to isolate and you just got to cut everything off. I don't feel like you got to cut everything off. I feel like you have to cut off things that are not in the same frequency as you. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you talk to your woman or if you talk to your man, like, I'm trying to change, I feel like I need to leave this relationship, and they like, well, what I need to change? What I need, you know what I mean? I don't want you to let me go. I understand that you're trying to go somewhere else. What do I need to do to change? And you know what I mean? A lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to find your own. Well, what, you know what I mean? What's the point of us being in a relationship is if you realize that I'm making you feel or you're making me feel like a certain type of way. If we can't come to that point at that time and show each other like, okay, listen, this is how I feel. This is what you did to me. And I feel like I need to cut and go.
All that. So there's so much stuff out of this one conversation that y'all can just do so much with. That's dope.
Because it's 2 sides to what? Every story.
It is.
It is. So
sometimes
it's like,
3. Sometimes 3
if you know the truth. See, I don't tell people the third one because they don't understand that's actually the truth.
Yeah.
You know, it's your side, it's my side.
And it's the truth.
And then it's the truth.
Right.
You know?
Everybody got their own version and their own perception of every situation. It can be the same situation, but we got 2 different perceptions of that situation.
Facts.
So
we just said that 3. When it was off air because I pointed at the camera and said the camera is this way. Right. You pointed at the camera and said, no, the camera is the other way. but it's just off of the perception. And we in the same frequency, but we see things differently. So that's what the communication is one of the most strongest thing, because when you're trying to reinvent, you don't always have to cut off everybody. You just
you don't have to cut off everybody. You just gotta know what you want and stand
there you
on
go.
that. If you know what you want, talk to them, you're gonna stand on it. You will know exactly what to get rid of. You're gonna know what to get rid of. You'll understand, but like I said, most people have to get to know who they are
as a person.
And a lot of times you have to strip away everything. You gotta get out of those relationships that are not growing you, that's keeping you down. Like you gotta strip away everything.
I agree with that.
So yeah.
I definitely agree with that. What's the call-in number, GFG? Because we need somebody to call. I know somebody needs a reinvention right now.
The downtown Flint, beautiful Out of the Mud Studios. And the number to call is 248-820-5053. Again, that's 248-820-5053.
Yeah. So one of the things that I used to reinvent myself, and I think, most people who know me already know that it's the gym. So I have a friend, and I can remember she don't live here, but she came in town and she just started talking about how she wanted to learn how to reinvent herself. And I told her it's gonna start with you. It's gonna start with you changing your mental first. And
cognition.
So
come on, yeah.
Exactly. One of the she seen me going to the gym, and she started picking it up, and I had to tell her too, like, this is not something that you have to put a date on. Like the gym is different because that's something that works from inside to outside.
Facts.
Most people are looking for those instant results. They want to see the cut up, they want to see the six pack, but no, that's not how it works. It changes you mentally first, and then it changes you physically. So you have to be down for that type of journey. You can't go in thinking, I just want to look like this and I want to. No, it don't go like that.
Indeed. See, reinventing yourself is really, really important because you're gonna always change, just like the weather. So you want to make sure
evolving. You're going to continue to evolve. That's what life is.
Evolve. That is exactly what life is about. Evolving, becoming the best version of yourself, understanding your kids, understanding your job, understanding everything. So when you're reinventing yourself, it's not just for your relationship.
No, it's not for a particular reason. It's the fact that you just want to be better.
You have to be better.
And you're always working on being better.
And that's what I was going to say. I was used to watch a TV show, a cartoon, right? And it's called Dragon Ball Z.
And I used to watch that.
You did?
A couple shows.
I used to watch it because, I don't know, I just feel like it's something different. I think them people, they know something, because they always talked about
the
energy.
Knowledge.
They got the knowledge to talk about energy. And you said that there is a form of energy around us, correct?
Yep.
And I always thought about that. Like, why would they make this type of cartoon? Or why would they push this type of...
Because we really have an energy force
around us that you can use and direct.
Yeah. You do. So you're always at every point in time, you're always attracting something to you.
Okay.
The thing about it is that energy force has a frequency, and you're attracting the things that's on that frequency.
Okay.
So if you have a low vibration, you are attracting low vibrational things. Indeed. If you have a high vibration, you attract high vibrational situations, people, opportunities, all that type of stuff. So at every point of time, you are always attracting something to you.
But then you can learn how to repel that energy, and that starts with reinventing yourself, isolating yourself, and learning your energy, learning the energy that's around you, and knowing what energy.
Your energy. Some of y'all, some people need to become self-aware to where they know, like, what you need to change about yourself. If you being messy, you always in some gossip, always arguing with somebody,
you on Facebook talking that mess. You know what I'm saying?
Every day, you always into it with somebody. Everybody else is not the problem. You the problem.
Facts.
So yeah, you got to learn your flaws. You got to learn your tics and what's wrong with you so that you can change you. But like I said, that's called shadow work. A lot of people don't even think anything is wrong with them because they haven't done any shadow work. And that's because
is that a narcissist?
They distract themselves with situations, with people, with things, and they do all that so they won't have to get to know who they really are.
Yeah. That's pretty deep right there.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk about that another time.
We are.
For real, for real.
We are.
Y'all know what it is. Your boy Flint Finance the Third, Mr. Inya. What? You know that. Out of the Mud, INC. Episode 3 with the one and only Juice the Truth. We appreciate y'all for coming out. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Yeah. We love y'all for real. Make sure y'all go subscribe right now and like, comment, share. Let us know what you think. If y'all think that we need to talk about something or y'all have something that touch y'all or make y'all want to, you know what I mean, call in and just say, hey, or just send a DM to Out of the Mud or Erica Walker, Facebook, or Gene Hodge on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And y'all can get, you know, just DM us. We open for everything. We want to be able to
conversation.
Yeah, we want to be able to help you and be able to you know, give you some insight, you know. Mm-hmm. But we appreciate y'all for tapping in. GFG, go ahead, take us out. Out of the Mud, INC. And you what?
In your
You know that. Yes, sir. Juice the